Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another layout that I completed at the crop that I went to. I think it was in October. Isn't it funny how fast we forget? But I think it was the end of October, so it's been over a month already, which I can't believe. It just feels like we were just there. But anyway, so this is just a one picture layout. I decided to just use one of them. It's a 4x4. I got some of my pictures that I got done at one of the pharmacies here. I got them all printed at 4x4 just for something different, because then I could make some different size, pictures and stuff without having to cut them at all, because the whole picture is within that 4x4. And then the next time I went to print my pictures, I got them printed at 4x6, and I'll switch them out like that, and then that way I'll get different size pictures. So I mounted my photo in the center of that navy blue cardstock. It's got some white speckles on it. I've had that cardstock forever and a day. I think I got that like 18 years ago, and I used to have like my own business that I would take stuff to. It was actually a local church here. And people would come there and one night a week, and I would have all these supplies, and they could, buy what they needed to make a few pages or a page or two per night. And I would do like Saturday classes. So I had a lot of cardstock and, pattern paper, embellishments, and that kind of stuff. Well, I still have, I'm sure I had bought 2 packages of 50 of that cardstock, and I still have probably about 30 sheets. And I really like it, so it's not a big deal. But while I was packing over a year ago, I found this, stack of cardstock, and I was like, you know what? I really like that cardstock, and I like it to map my photos, and I like it for, backing some pattern paper. So you got to start using it. So anyway, long story short, I'm finally using that cardstock. So I mounted my photo, and these pattern papers are super old. I don't even know what year they were made, but they're basic gray. And so sad, but basic gray, they decided last year to not do scrapbooking supplies anymore. So I still have a lot of their stuff, and I'm not going to hoard it just because they don't make pattern papers anymore. I am going to use what I have. So that strip of flowers, I cut it down to about 6.5, and then the grid type grid type pattern paper, which is the light blue, I cut that about 4.5. At this point, I left it by 12 because I don't know how wide I want it. And then the background, which is like distress aqua, I cut it to about 11.75 by 11.75 so I could mount it on that dark blue cardstock. And now I'm just kind of playing with the embellishments, seeing, do I want to put it horizontally? Do I want to put it vertically? And I'm not cutting anything down until I make the decision, because once it's cut down, you can still piece it back together, but it's so much harder than if you just make the decision, and then once you make the decision, then just stick with it, and then cut it down and then go with it. Okay, so while I'm playing with the embellishments and trying to figure out how I'm going to place everything on the layout, I have to say I wasn't around on Facebook, and I had uploaded my video on Friday, but all weekend, and it's because it was my 3 days that I had to work, and I have to say it still kicks my butt. So I worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Friday was an overnight shift, and the overnight shift really kicked my butt. I was no good, Saturday and Sunday. So today's Monday, and I'm starting to feel better. But anyway, so that's why I wasn't around on Facebook and on my class Facebook group. So I'll be active again this week there. But I'm really not used to these night shifts because even before I went part-time, I was all days for a good 8-9 months. So I guess it's just kind of getting used to it. And I don't have too many to do. I only have to do 3 in a period of 9 weeks. So that's not too bad. But anyway, back to this layout. So like I said, I'm just playing around. All the layouts that I got done at this crop took me, I think there was only a couple that took me over an hour. So most of them were under an hour, which was really good. And I really account that to the fact that I had my page kits already, I had my embellishments, and I really stuck to what I had in the page kits. Like I really tried to use everything that I had in the page kit, and then if I found that the page was a little bit lacking, I had a iris container that I would go and, that was the leftovers from the previous pages, and then I would just go and kind of pick a few embellishments for that. But it was very rare that I had to do that. So I took some distress ink in the faded jeans, and I inked the edges of all the pattern papers, and oh my goodness, I just saw the back side of that pattern paper and I really love it. But I am so far beyond trying to hoard my pattern paper now. When I start with the layout, I just go with it. I just start cutting and I just use the pattern papers that I decide to use for a specific layout. We just have so many pattern papers, right? And we need to sort of let it go and just use what we have and kind of go with it. And there's going to be tons of new stuff that's going to come out that we're going to love just as much. So even though sometimes it just kind of breaks the heart, we just gotta do it, and at least it's in our scrapbook and it's being used. And while I'm gluing everything down, I just want to mention that at the end of the video, you'll see a couple of clips, I guess, or 2 photos, and it's mentioning 2 things. One is my new class that I just released on Thursday before Black Friday, and it's 2-for-1 class. So it's 2 classes for the price of 1. The first class is for the Love of the Collection, where I take a collection and we put together 16 pages, and I talk about how even though you're using one collection, how you can pull different colors and different things that you can do to make all your pages look like it doesn't belong to one collection and to get the most of that collection. And the second class is how to use your scraps, and we get 15 layouts done with that. And I have to say, after I was done the 15 layouts, I still had a ton of ideas of stuff that I could do with scraps. So probably in the future, I'll do using your scraps too. So those 2 classes for the price of 1, and also as a customer appreciation, and where I did release it around Black Friday, I called it a Black Friday sale. I put down my classes, all my previous classes, to 50% off. In one class that I have to mention, because I had so many people ask me if I was going to do December daily this year, and yes, I am going to be doing December daily. I don't know how organized it's going to be, because here we are, December 4th, and I haven't started yet. I have been taking pictures, so there's that. This morning I kind of grabbed a few things, and that's where I'm going to start with putting my pages together. But one of the classes that is on for 50% off is a December daily class, or like I called it, Document December. And there's over 50 videos for the 31 days in December. So I'm really looking forward to doing December daily this year. I didn't do it last year, and I really miss the album. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But I have to say, it's not going to be as organized as when I did that class. That class, I was super organized, and everything kind of went together really nicely. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to be a little bit more all over the place this year, but I'm still going to give it a go. But anyway, back to this layout. I decided to put the photo on the right side of the layout. Then I used a 3x4 cut apart card, and that's where I'm going to do my journaling. I used one of the stickers that said family. I had another cut apart that looked like a little clipboard, and I cut it in two, and I'm going to use it in two spots on the layout as my embellishment starter, or my embellishment foundation, like I like to call it. And then I also had another piece of it was like a label, and I cut it in two, and I'm going to put it at the two embellishment clusters. And I'm also going to use a strip of washi tape that I had cut apart. And this is from a washi tape book, and it's just nice to be able to, to get those used up. So once I get my foundation of the layout put down, so basically, my pattern papers, then I start looking at, okay, where can I put some embellishment clusters? And this time I decide to go in a diagonal line, starting at the bottom left of the layout and finishing at the top right of the layout. And my photo is right smack in the middle. And my title, I decided to just use one of the stickers that was put with this page kit, and it says family. And I talked about how that year, the year before, we had gone just my husband, myself, and my youngest son. And then we decided to, my youngest daughter and her fiance wanted to also climb the mountain. So we went with them. And then next year, we won't be able to do, the big mountain because Mason is too young, but there's a mountain in New Brunswick here that we're pretty sure he's going to be able to climb. So we want to do that mountain with him because he wants to climb a mountain with us. So I just talk about how, it's become a family thing. We want to climb mountains together, and I think that's pretty awesome. So the last couple of things I'm going to get done to this layout is I'm going to add some enamel dots, and as you can tell there, I'm chatting up a storm. Obviously for this layout I wasn't watching This Is Us, so what I was trying to do for the whole weekend was watch an episode and then kind of turn it off for a little bit and then kind of be social, and then watch another episode and then chat a little bit more. But I still ended up watching like close to 14 episodes. So yeah, but it was a long weekend, right? Like we were there for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we scrapped till 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. So it was a nice long weekend, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. So like I said, I added some enamel dots. Next, I'm going to add some sprinkles, and I'm just using my Distress ink navy blue, I think it's called, from Ranger. And that's going to complete this layout, so stay tuned. There is some close-ups of the layout. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. I upload videos every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and sometimes on Saturdays. And if you're enjoying these videos, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, and we will talk to you soon. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.